Hey guys, Henry here, and today we're going to be talking about Thor Ragnarok. So, Thor Ragnarok is the third installment in the Thor franchise as part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. However, there are so many movies in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, this doesn't really quite feel like a pure sequel to Thor. It's just another piece of the puzzle building up to Avengers Infinity War. And while it does follow some plot points from the previous Thor film, it really just feels like an MCU movie with the main character just being Thor. The film was directed by the New Zealand director Taika Waititi, and he actually directed and starred in a film called What We Do in the Shadows, and that's actually a mockumentary about vampires and how they live in society in New Zealand, Wellington. It is actually a hilarious mockumentary, and I would actually recommend you check it out. It's really entertaining and witty, and it's got that Office Parks and Rec vibe. And of course, the star of the film, Chris Hemsworth as Thor. You've got Tom Hiddleston as Loki, and you got Mark Ruffalo as Eric Banner / the Hulk. And this film introduces some new characters such as Jeff Goldblum as the Grandmaster, Tessa Thompson as Valkyrie, and Kate Blanchett as Hela. So just a quick spoiler-free overview of what the movie is about. Thor's essentially been away from Asgard, is trying to find himself. He didn't want to be the king of Asgard, and now Hela's come and she wants to take over Asgard, and I guess Thor needs to stop her, and she's super strong. So there's an adventure in that, Thor finding himself, building himself up to be able to beat her, and essentially the movie is just the growth of Thor. First thing to note about this movie, and it's probably what everyone's saying, is that this movie is a load of fun. The tone is completely changed from previous Thor movies. It's changed that dark palette and traded in for these bright colors and eccentric characters. Thor's tone himself has definitely changed a lot from the brooding, mysterious, ethereal, godlike figure to now a more laid-back type of character. There's lots of funny banter and lots of really memorable moments and I guess really quotable lines in this film. You could come out of this film and be just repeating these lines with your friends and having a good laugh. That's what this film does. Chris Hemsworth does a really good job of growing into this new Thor character where he's sort of a bit more witty and funny. His comedic timing and acting is actually really good, and it plays off really well with the Thor character. And of course, the visual effects were just spot on. Just like in all Marvel movies, there's nothing really to complain about here. Everything looks really crisp and really good. Now, I know this movie has been getting a lot of praise, and it should. It is a fun movie, it's a good movie, but there are a lot of things that I feel like don't make this movie like an actual movie. Rather, it is just a piece in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The plot in this movie is really thin. There's no depth or complexity to it. It's just getting from point A to point B, essentially, with a little bit of back and forth in between. Like, it's not a spoiler to say Doctor Strange is in this movie, but it just feels like although his lines and his interactions were interesting, they were quite redundant at the same time. This movie does rely on the context of the MCU. So if you haven't seen other MCU movies, or even if you've just seen the two Thor movies before, a lot of the plot points and the things that they follow will not make sense to you if you don't know what's going on in the greater Marvel Cinematic Universe. At the beginning of this review, I did say this film was fun, but was it too much fun? That is the question. There are two types of distinct comedy that I felt came from this movie. The first type of comedy I felt flowed naturally from Thor's character, being this honorable but yet arrogant god. And it was funny to see that comedy just bounce off where he wasn't intentionally trying to be funny. It was just, his character was just so eccentric and just so full of himself. The things around him just weren't panning out as he'd expect them to pan out. I found that sort of stuff really funny, because it made sense. It made sense for their character to be like that. And then there was the other side of the comedy where it was just trying to be funny for the sake of being funny, for the sake of doing something stupid to get a laugh out of the audience. And it was this type of comedy that really drowned out the movie. It just happened too often, and the laughs just were getting a bit weak at these points. I would have preferred if they kept with these sharp, witty, Thor doesn't know what's good for himself type of comedy, and have those really hit, rather than have all these attempts to get people to laugh and have some of them hit, some of them miss, and have a really crap shooting percentage, I guess. Overall, Thor Ragnarok is a fun and good movie. It's not something that I would be dying to watch in the cinema. I could definitely wait to see it come on TV or Blu-ray. But I think people will go watch it because A, it is a Marvel movie, and B, it's a fun Marvel movie. But I feel like although it's getting a lot of buzz now, it's not going to sit at the end of the day as a classic Marvel movie. I just really doubt its rewatchability. I feel like once you know what the gags are, it's just not that funny the second time around. Thank you guys for watching this review. If you liked it, be sure to hit that like button and hit subscribe for more reviews and more content from me. I want to know what you guys thought about the movie. Did you think it was too fun, or did you think it was just a perfect amount of fun and you thought it was this new evolution of Marvel movies where they're going to take steps in blah 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 blah. Whatever, I just want to know what you guys think. Please comment it down below and I will see you guys next time.